One thing I'm reminded of when looking at the games that have been played so far is when you're in an end game, be careful about trading pieces. The more pieces you have in the end game, the more chances there are to create counterplay and change the course of the game. The more you trade, then the play becomes more forcing. And the most forcing end game would be a king and pawn ending, where if you're down a pawn, it's basically going to be a loss. But if there's even one pair of rooks on the board, that can be a totally different situation, and it's a lot more drawish. So don't just trade. Definitely got to weigh the consequences. I mean, sometimes you have to trade, otherwise maybe you'd lose more material, or your opponent's pieces will become active. But just in the end game, be very careful about trading. Yeah, seeing some opening improvements. I actually thought Kieran defended himself well in this game. I think it's definitely an unfamiliar opening for him. You can see he's down a pawn. He has several isolated pawns, but at least he's castled and he survived. Um, it was a Goring gambit. He accepted it, and you know played some moves that kept him safe. So that was good. Though it looks like White definitely in control in that game. Then on board 3, we had a fried liver attack. I mean, people have been playing the same attack since I was starting in chess. Okay, you got to know it. If you don't, I would say, if you're black on board 3, go back and study that. Basically, knight takes d5 is just a bad move, and something you should study. Ask a strong player about it, or any book on openings will also talk about it. Yeah, no, I mean, black didn't manage to survive at least. I mean, they're down 3 pawns, so probably white's going to win, but hey, at least you survived. Hmm. Yeah, both sides pretty bad development on board 2. Oh, whose turn? It's white's turn. So this is what I mean. Without rooks, this would be a win for black. Um, yeah, actually, no matter whose turn it would be, it'd be a win. But with rooks, it's well, I'll wait till after the game. It's a lot more drawish. No, this actually is a theoretical position that you should memorize, but I won't say anything yet. But yeah, it looks like a really good game. And as always, please go slowly, take your time. Honestly, taking playing too fast is a problem a lot of players have. Like it's probably the most common problem, especially among younger players. But it really afflicts everyone. Honestly, the more I see it, the more I think the best solution is just put the player in like with a bunch of like really strong players. Um, you could do this online, just play against really strong players, or find a tournament where you're like the weakest player, and just put them in that section, and they're going to learn quickly that if they play fast, they're going to get destroyed. So I mean, it's kind of harsh, but I think that might just be the best solution, because I feel like players who play fast, it's because they're able to win doing that, and they're used to be able to finding at least a good enough move to win. But against strong players, it won't work. So that's what I would do. But it'll be tough on the player at the same time. Another very common problem, mostly in primary, is oh, they haven't started. Is putting pieces in danger. It's another one of those problems that's extremely frustrating because it's very hard to win if you keep losing your pieces. But I think the solution is just they just need to play more games. You know, obviously they know not to put the queen in danger, but like until you get just better vision of the board, you know, you're going to keep making mistakes. It's kind of like in math. It's like the difference between like knowing a formula, but then you actually have to solve a lot of problems to really get how the formula works. Okay. Yeah, wow. Looked like white had just a crushing position on board two. But now black, yeah, made a comeback. It's actually even pawns. Um, yeah, definitely prefer black, but I think it's a pretty tricky game. Yeah, close game. It's also on board three, and yeah, a couple games already finished. Yeah, rook a7 should be a pretty good move. You know, trying to cut the king off on the seventh rank, hit some of these pawns still here. Another tip in the endgame, besides being careful about trading, is not to just blindly push your pawns forward, because every pawn move is going to make that pawn harder to defend. For example, if black pushes this h pawn, that makes the g pawn undefended. And really, I feel like the kind of the theme here is just take your time before your moves, especially in an endgame. So I've seen just so many games where honestly, like rather than guess who's going to win based on the position, I just base it on who's thinking. Or if neither player is thinking and they're just moving really fast, I just say, well, whoever, you know, this game's going to be decided by like a tactic, like a fork. It's not going to be decided by strategy. And, you know, that's just really unfortunate. I'll definitely be a little harder about this for the top level. I mean, there's really, um, like, you know, on board two, for example, like this game should be decided by strategy. You know, who's able to push their passed pawns to the end. It shouldn't be decided by like a skewer that wins the rook. You know, I mean, that just would be very demoralizing for either player. You know, if you want to reach the next level, you know, a lot of these guys are, you know, between like 1,000 and there's 1,400, and we have a 1,500. You know, I mean, there's a whole other level of chess beyond this, and you're not going to get to that 1,600 plus level if you're still hanging your pieces or missing basic tactics. It's just not going to happen. Man, that was a little bit dark. Let's see. It's probably no, Prime Minister hasn't started. Oh, Black was able to win. So let's take a look at that game. So actually, that game should be a draw if there's a pawn on the rook file. I mean, pawn on the knight file. That's very drawish. You can just actually, well, sure. Yeah, I mean, it's just a hard game. Definitely, you know, giving the players a lot of credit here. Let's see. It was like back in this position. Like, definitely, you know, I wouldn't necessarily expect white to know this. Um, but you can actually just defend passively. I think someone should check me on this. I'll take a look, but you can just kind of keep your rook here. That way they can't mate you. And black actually can't really make any progress. Um, yeah, just because you just keep your king in the corner, they can't like swing their rook around and come down. There's just not room to do that. If the pawn was on the bishop's file, then there's a little more room because the rook might come over here and check you. So the rook will be like here. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's still possible to draw if the pawn's on the bishop file, but it's a little more complicated. You can't just like defend passively. But if it's a knight's pawn, so pawn on the knight file or pawn on the rook file, you can just bring your rook here and defend passively. But I mean, you know, can't you may just not know, and that's okay. You'll learn. Yeah, I thought maybe white was going to check here again and just maybe check back and forth. Yeah, this kind of what I'm talking about with like be careful. Maybe yeah, as long as white doesn't trade, it's still a draw. You just got to know as soon as you trade, black has the opposition, and it's just a win. But look, I mean, definitely a couple good lessons here for white. Um, about rook endings and pawn endings. So, that's what you're here for. Oh, primate, I guess, should start any second. All right, so we see, strategy. Black gives up the H pawn in order to get their pawns going faster. Definitely very logical. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and then what is Connor and Jesse? So materials equal. Always count the material first. No, this is a pretty complicated game. I don't know. Say equal chances. Yeah, and board two, I would say equal chances. Because, I mean, white's king is in a good spot to help stop the pawns, but white's own pawns are very far from getting anything going. So, you know. Both players still have a lot of time. No, except for Connor. Connor may want to at least be a little aware of the time. It's not so much the 9 minutes that's low, but the fact that it's so much lower than Jesse's. Whenever there's an imbalance like that, you want to do your best to avoid that because now in a critical moment, Jesse's going to have all that time to think. So it's not ideal. Yes, I really don't know who has a better position, to be honest. Looks like white, but I really don't see that many weaknesses for black besides the king side pawns. But that's a long way away. Like, I'm trying to think what's bothering me. I guess what's kind of bothering me about white's position is the king is open. Like, its pawns have all left the second rank. This kind of make me uncomfortable if I was white here. So, all right, black's continued pushing the pawn. Yeah, black's gonna get um potentially two pass pawns. Yeah, no, this. Hmm. But look how that rook is. Look how white's rook is cutting the black king off from assisting. So now it ties the rook down as well because it has to stay on the seventh rank. I feel like this white rook's doing a really good job, but it can't just stay here forever because none of white's pawns can advance. It's kind of annoying for white. Yeah, all right, to be expected. Takes, yep, takes with the G pawn, yeah. Okay, there we have the two passers. So going back to board 3, if I'm in Connor's shoes, you don't worry so much about finding the best move. Just want to find a good enough move, um, just to keep the game going. It is the kind of position where, their king is open, so there are threats on the board. So you want to kind of sense, is this a position I need to take time in, or is it okay if I find maybe not the best move, but just a good enough move? Whereas if you look on board 2, black has a lot more time, so they could take the time regardless. But this is a really important position for black. They have to decide, what they're going to do. Because for the moment, all their plans have been stopped. Oh, we got another rook ending over here. Yeah, no, I think Connor's time management's getting, definitely a lot better. I don't know. It looks pretty equal to me. Weak pawns on both sides. Rooks are comparatively active. Kings are pretty much both active. Yeah. Connor definitely doesn't want it to come down to time. That would be unfortunate. Hopefully it comes down to just who plays slightly better moves. All right, good. So we have black decided rook f5. White brings the rook down now to try to stop the pawns. Makes sense. So did black's gamble work in this game? Okay. Wow. So I think rookie. Okay. I'm gonna say rookie 8 is wrong. Not because it loses, because I just don't know. I just think black had so much more time. Okay, has so much more time to like think about that. I wouldn't rush into this pawn ending. Like, it's so complicated. How do you know you have a winning game? And same with Connor. I don't know if I would have rushed into this exactly. Yeah, we'll see. It's a very odd structure. Listen, if I was Jesse, I would now think for 10 minutes. Just me. And yeah, in this game, I thought this is what black had to do. You hate to give up that pawn, but you need to get your king involved. So I don't know if this quite worked out for black, but look, they thought about it, they came up with a strategy, then you just learn from it. This gives you something to learn off of. So board 3, it may just look like kings and pawns. This is a very complicated endgame. I don't know. Anyone who thinks kings and pawns is simple, I have some endgames I can show y'all. Gives you appreciation for it, and hopefully then you take your time. So this is black's, big play, the outside pass pawn. So a pass pawn that's, well, outside, it's far away from everything. And this can be a problem because white has to go chase it. But if black can't take advantage of the king's absence, then white's just gonna be winning. Whose turn is it? It's black's turn. All right, good. We see Jesse thinking. Good, good. All right. All right, I've made my prediction how the game's going to end. So y'all should try to calculate ahead, see if you can guess what's going to happen. So since it's not really a possibility now, I thought Connor might have tried to like break through by going h4, g5, trying to clear the way for the f pawn. May not have been possible though. And I definitely don't think Connor should have traded rooks. That looked very dangerous. All right, now Black's got some problems. Yeah, you know, if the Black King was over here on the queen side, there'd be a lot more chances to draw, but it's looking like it's not gonna happen. Oh, Jesse went king d5. May not make a huge difference. Wait, what? They agreed to a draw? So actually, by my calculation, I think they both queen at the same time, and then it's a draw. But I'm still surprised they didn't play it out. All right, well, we gotta get this up on the analysis board. I don't know. Black has a really unenviable task ahead of them, so we'll let her deal with that alone. All right, good game, Kieran. You hung in there. You know, White. I think White is the stronger player, though. Okay. All right. Wait, what? Wait, Alana, what's the time control? 25. Okay. I don't know. Y'all seem to play a lot of moves in 10 minutes. Okay. All right. Got a pretty good game between Spencer and Jake. Wait. Okay, so White's up a pawn. But yeah, like Black is, active pieces, so I guess White's a little better, but it's still a game. Sheldon got hit with the fork. He was already up though, so I think he's still winning. Um, Remember, take your time, especially primary. Double check, make sure, look at all the forcing moves for yourself and for your opponent. So a forcing move is a check, a capture, or a threat. I mean, at least look at the checks and the captures. Make sure you're not missing something. I had this distinct memory of like, when I was like starting off. I'd always look at my queen. I'd be like, is anything attacking her? And I do that before every move. And when I really first started, it was it was kind of a problem because I'd always try to trade her off so I couldn't lose her. But I think the point is just before you move, just make sure the pieces Look at the checks and captures. Make sure nothing can capture you. Like a lot of the times in chess, you can make a lot of progress just by like, just by kind of being smart and logical. And then after you kind of start playing in tournaments and getting over that like initial uh, stage where you're just playing other people who like just learned, like it gets really frustrating because you're like, why am I not winning games anymore? And it's like you actually have to, study. You got to study, especially tactics, solve tactics puzzles. And that's kind of fun. It doesn't really feel like studying. It's just, you know, who doesn't like to like solve puzzles and stuff? You learn there's a lot of players who are just as good as you. And if they've put in more work, they're going to beat you. Yeah, I was like, all right, nice move. Jake saw the queen from the side or from the back of the board come up, take the rook. So tough move by white. That's just kind of about seeing the board. Just got a pretty good queen ending. Sheldon versus Lucas. Interesting game. Now, so far, the day's been pretty good. Definitely seen a lot of good games, a lot of end games. All right, good. So white attacks the queen, good, makes a threat, and black moves the queen away. So black's up in this game. Well, we'll see what happens. See who's in this tournament. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, black. I wanted to. It was painful to. I didn't want to watch you have to defend that. I didn't really see anything you could do. So going back to this game, yeah, rook takes is by no means forced because the king guards all these squares. I don't know. And it's just over here, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, this is what they did. Well, I don't know. I don't think it makes a huge difference. Oh, it's white's turn. I mean, at least if you're black, you're gonna take the time to calculate this. Because I think it's just well, I don't know. We can always move that king later. Oh no, this white. Oh, white does queen first. In fact, though, it's a stupid draw. No, I think yeah. Oh no, this would be a win for white. Sometimes rook pawns are draws, but if the king is close enough, then it's a win. All right, did Jesse calculate that out? Maybe. I hope so. What about this? No, this looks like a win for. Oh, but oh yeah, he had an extra tempo. I was like, did I really calculate that wrong? Oh, I would have been so irritated if I had. But yeah, this must have been the variation I was thinking about. So they clean at the same time, and it's a draw. I don't know. It might be worth it though. Just maybe throw in a check. Might get lucky. He goes here. You have a skewer. There's no skewer. Or actually, this is a better check. Or no, because he can't. I don't know. Maybe this is a better check. Either because he might fall into the skewer or the skewer here. Yeah, I don't know. Worth a try. Yeah, I was like, I thought I calculated. I would have been so mad. Well, maybe now. Oh, he can get closer though. Oh, wait, hold. He gets closer. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, no, this doesn't work. Oh, it's what? Why do I like never know whose turn it is? Oh, it might be a win. No. So this might be a win. I kind of not. Oh wait, no. No, this would be a draw. But white has to like do that. And if white doesn't take, whose turn is it? Oh, no, this might just be a draw. Yeah, yeah, never mind. I don't know. Good game. All right, that's it. All right, round two. See what? Oh, gee. See what openings are being played. Well, Mateo, at least you're white. And listen, I'm a big fan of Alexi. Known Alexi a long time. I do think he needs to slow down. He does have a tendency to blunder. Not often, but happens. So just want to be careful. All right, let me see what happens here. Yeah, I love it. The two knights defense, but you do have to know some opening theory. Okay, very good. This kid, he's going to do the same attack that he got caught in. Now that would be funny. Yeah, so d5 is the best move to guard against the knight g5 attack. There is also bishop c5, the Traxler, but that gets crazy. All right, yeah, Highland plays knight a5. Good move. b5 is also interesting, the Ulvestad defense. Knight takes d5 is the fried liver, which is actually what happened to Ian in the first game. Sorry, Ian, it's worth a try. And, it's a good game. Both players, have chances to win. All right, still things going pretty well for black on board two. So these guys should start momentarily. Alana, when does Future Master start? Okay, they're gonna start in like a minute. Oh right, Alexi plays his French. Yeah, Mateo gets his pieces out. Very good. Look, I mean, playing strong players is how you get better. It's not always fun, but I mean, I think getting better is fun. So the fun happens later. It's deferred fun. It's the same with like working out at the gym. Like, I don't know. I feel like at least me, I always look forward to going to the gym. But then when I like get there and I'm like in pain, I'm like, why am I here? But you know, it's like, I guess the satisfaction, I guess, of getting stronger and stuff. So similar way in chess. Ooh, yeah, white has a nice position on board 3, really working these pins. So pins are one of the most basic tactic, really building blocks of tactics. So both bishops are pinning the knights. One's an absolute pin, the knight absolutely can't move because it would put the king in check. The other is a relative pin, where the knight could move, it would just be catastrophic. All right, looks like Alexi's copying Mateo over here. Good, yeah, bishop b5, c6. This is all well-known opening knowledge. Takes, pawn takes. All right, and we'll see what white does next. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you're playing a gambit like the Smith-Morra gambit or the Goring gambit, the bishop belongs on c4. Not directed at anyone in particular, just a basic theoretical tidbit. Oh, nice, Hunter and Jesse. Nice. Abbott and Alice. All right, Abbott gets a rematch. Should be a good game. I guess this was a Smith-Morra with e5. I don't know about that. I don't know. There might be some new theory on it. I mean, I don't play either side of this, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't really like it. At least whatever happened, I don't like what happened. I think Jesse has a better position. See, yeah, he's not even down a pawn here. Started. What's this? Yeah, sometimes I see like the weirdest stuff. So White's going for like a double fianchetto. I mean, I guess especially with online play where it's not like your real rating, you can have like some fun with stuff. But I think, until you get up to, let's say 2100, you really should be playing like mainline stuff, just to learn more about chess. They're the main lines for a reason. They lead to the most complex positions, the most interesting positions, where you get to, you know, battle out the strategic ideas. Some grandmasters may say black's position is better. Some grandmasters like white's position, talking about like the main lines. So it's fun to just kind of add your own contribution to that. Yeah, so Mateo, you want your pieces in the center. Definitely a couple moves where you're moving away from the center. So I want to try to fix that. I guess you were going for knight h4, knight f5. Okay. No, okay, that's okay. Just in general though, pieces in the center. It's something you learn when you first start out, and so it seems like a basic thing that's not that important once you get better, but controlling the center is, it's gospel in chess. Like, never forget it. So white went bishop a4. All right, cool. Got a good game on board 4. Okay. Looks like Alice's Wi-Fi went out. Yeah, so Abbott, if you're listening, just hang on. I think Alice is just having some connection issues. Hopefully she'll be back. So we have one game left. Hard fought game between Spencer and Jake. Jake's up a rook, but he still has to close it out. You see. Okay, it's white to play. Tough break. Yeah, you gotta guard the back rank. See, it doesn't matter how much material you're up. You're gonna get punished. This is gonna be a tough loss, but a good learning lesson as well. Like I said, you gotta look at all your opponent's checks and captures. Okay, even like if it doesn't look dangerous, you'll have to consider it. All right, still pretty even on board one over here. Okay, yeah, no reserve is yeah, it's good. Yeah, so Connor, just kind of like, all right, I'll build up the big center while you go from the side. Now white does start to strike back in the middle. Yeah, seem really solid games. I mean, no big weaknesses on either side. So yeah. Yeah, I like Eric's position because black has some weaknesses and white has the two bishops. Whose turn is it? Oh, it's Jesse's turn. All right, Hunter's up a pawn, but white has the initiative. Definitely gonna take white here. Might be defensible, but yeah. Oh, and yeah, not good at all. This game still. So I'm not sure on board three how they got to that position, but probably some greed was involved, and that did not turn out well for black. All right. Yeah. That's all. So 100 sides go king f8, and yeah, queen takes pawn. Yeah, I don't even know if there's a defense. Yeah. Okay, cool. So a lot of good games going here. All right, hanging in there. Oh, you got me. Did Kieran get the bye? Alana? Oh man, jeez. Pretty good game here. All right, cool. Yeah, players playing pretty well today. Pretty well. I guess Black's hope here is that the bishops are opposite colors, which might give some drawing chances. But with the rooks on the board, there's actually still opportunities to attack. So the opposite color bishops really don't mean much if there's other pieces on the board. So yeah, definitely White's favor. I do not envy Hunter over here. Okay, looks like Alex reconnected. Awesome. Yeah, then board two is, pretty much kind of locked in. Not a lot of hand-to-hand combat yet. We've had one pair of pieces exchanged. So I don't know. I mean, I like Black's center, kind of partial to Black's position here. But yeah, I mean, still pretty equal game. All right, remember, slow down, even the opening. Okay. So we have a Queen's Gambit. Well, this is, yeah, kind of the way Botvinnik played it. So white has the C file, black has the E file. Yeah, it definitely plays this position a lot as black. It's pretty solid. So actually, black's done a good job here. So yeah, you seems like you want your pawns on the same color as the bishop, so the bishop can protect them, but actually just limit your bishop. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think black just has some pretty good counterplay here because now white's bishop's just so bad, and black's restricted it with b6 and a5. Yeah, I think black is trying to keep pace with white, but I really encourage black to slow down because um, not just in this position, but other position like earlier, you're just making a lot of mistakes, and it's not really necessary. Um, I don't know. I think trading rooks. I don't know. I mean, black does want to kind of trade, but black had some nice counterplay going, so maybe they didn't want to trade. Probably net benefit is to black though. I think black is enough to draw here with a good play, but I think she really has to slow down. I mean, you have a ton of time. Um, and not make a silly mistake. I mean, did black see bishop b4 and got kind of lucky they could protect the rook? That's what it seems like to me. And next tactic you might not get as lucky. Good. Abbott playing pretty solidly here. Yeah, White's playing a challenging line, so it does create some pressure on Black, but yeah, maybe White's a tiny bit better, but oh, all right, yeah, you never want to block the C pawn, almost never. I mean, this move, it's not a tactical mistake, but it's something talked about many times, not blocking that pawn. Now you just have a little less space. I think it's going to be uncomfortable, but maybe Black will be okay. Might also be about to get crazy. Let's see. Yeah, look at this. All the White's pawns on dark squares. Terrible. Gosh, what a nightmare. Still going to be difficult on Black because I don't think Black has any winning chances. But definitely drawing chances are going up. So White has 2 extra pawns, but now we are in a bishop endgame. I don't see much chance. I don't see as many winning chances. But White should still, or Black should still play accurately and stuff. Oh, poor Hunter. Yeah, this was a lost battle. Tough one. All right, pretty good game going on here. Cool. All right, then good games by future masters. That's what question. Show me the same game. Okay. Okay, I see no game. Oh, okay. There they are. Oh, yeah, Spencer, you gotta check out that trap. All right, Kyler and Jasper have a double rook ending. White to move. Good. Kyler defended the back rank mate. All right. Oh, Roy's here. Oh, somebody got caught. Yeah, I'm seeing some undeveloped pieces in this game. Gotta make sure you develop your pieces. Don't be caught with like rooks and knights in the corner. Well, it's a pretty good game, yeah. Okay. All right, good to see Sheldon on board one. Yeah, he was playing for first last time, and Kieran was able to beat him that time. But now Kieran's had to move up. Just curious how board 3 develops. Yeah, I was like, White should probably make some room. Yeah. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Oh, dang. No, it's a good game, Mateo. All right, just hang in there. 2 more games. Man, she locked this down. Man. All right, this board one's looking like a draw. Could be our second draw of the day. What happened here? So actually pretty complex. Like, okay, definitely white has a much better position, but black has no weaknesses. So if white oversteps, it's gonna be in trouble. So white needs to find the right moment to gain space, probably by pushing d5 or e5. And black just shouldn't panic. Don't try to lash out because then you're just gonna get run off the board. All right, yeah, I mean a6, not too bad. Stop knight to b5 or queen b5. But you are gonna have to come up with a plan because white's coming for you. All right, so if you don't know what to do in a game, I mean, then you know it's time to use your time. Don't just like, you know, move something because you don't know. Like, try to improve your position a little bit. All right, don't just like move pieces back and forth. Well, I'm still interested in board 2, exactly what's going to happen here. Got knights against bishops in some regard. All right. Yeah, queen d3 is pretty good move. let's see. Remember, you gotta respect your opponent. Ask yourself what they're trying to do. Dang, man. King H4. I mean, if white's gonna go for the win, black, why shouldn't you go for the win? Think about it. You each have over half an hour. All right, good. Queen G4. Hey, it's an active move. All right. See, looks like Sean, he's trying to push his H pawn. Cut. Yeah, looking pretty close. Man, I'm trying to be, well, I won't say. So end games are places where it doesn't really matter what you feel the best move is. Often you can actually calculate it out. Means anyone calculate in this game? All right, so queens have been traded. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, neither side really has many weaknesses. Yeah, I think this is yeah, gonna be a good one. Let's make it come down to strategy. All right, so both players have plenty of time, even though Alex came late, so plenty of time. Before you move, look at all the checks and captures. Don't make it come down to something silly. Both are stronger players than that. Just relax. Try to come up with a plan. White or black's going to try to target these center pawns, and white's going to try to use their extra space. What'd she do? Oh, moved her rook over? Okay. Uh, mm, Very unfortunate. I mean, I think black even had winning chances. I don't think you had to sack the bishop. But maybe try to bring the bishop around first before you take the pawn. But you have all this time, and it's not going to be put to good use if you're in a losing position. I think black was trying to blitz it out with white, and we get a game that I feel like could have been a lot better by both players. Guess it's easy for me to say. I never had the problem of moving too quickly. Just it's never. I had many other problems, but never that problem. Hmm. Interesting game here. Wow. Or queen ending. Good game here. So queen endings are a lot like pawn endings, right? No, that's not right. Knight endings are a lot like pawn and king and pawn endings. Yeah, this one looks pretty drawish. I mean, pieces are equal. I'm talking about board two, and it might just come down to just a lot of like checks. So cool, good game. I don't know. Even though board two most likely will be a draw, still feel like you can tell both players are really trying to win. I feel like someone's going to end up the winner, but I don't know who. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't even know. Like, I guess I'd prefer to be black because, like, you can attack white's pawns now and stuff. The king is actually sort of helping attack the pawns in its own way. So, yeah. But I don't know if there'll be enough. Yeah. Primary. All right. Sheldon's able to get the win. Good job. Knight was able to win this one. Okay. Oh, all right. So primary should begin their next round momentarily. Oh my. Oh man, I can already tell this game's gonna get my blood pressure up. Only like players just going so quickly. Like both players have tons of time. Like please think about your moves. It's like all I ask. Just take your time. The position has changed so much. We can take a 5-minute break. maybe that's kind of one difference between like in person. It's like in person, it's sort of natural to want to get to walk around, stretch. Maybe at home, it's a little different, but definitely players should get up and stretch because I can't. You got a really great game. You know, give yourself a chance. You gotta handle that pressure. If you can't, you're just not gonna get to the next level. If that's your goal. Man, things are definitely locked up in this on board two still. Still a lot of time left for both players. Yeah, maybe I like white a little bit, but definitely far from a conclusion, that's for sure. I'm getting stressed out. Let's go to another section. Oh, now we've reached a pawn ending. You see, I mean, white's taking his time here, even though it's just kings and pawns. There are a lot of decisions. Oh, it looks like black just moved instantly. I don't know. I feel like players move fast when they're used to being the smartest player in the room. So you got to pit them against, really tough players so they unlearn that. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. What was that? Unfortunately, looks like white's gonna lose. Though I guess fortunate for black. But yeah, white just didn't quite find the right way, but looked like they were trying to, so that's good. We got a really weird game here. I swear, sometimes Highland gets into like the weirdest game. Yeah, it's not looking so good for black. Oh, but white's really low on time, so then yeah, that kind of changes things a little bit. Maybe black has some chances. Didn't realize white was so low. All right, white has less than a minute. Can they hold on for victory? Interesting. Interesting. All right, looks like white's got this one. I think the players have slowed down. My heart slowed down slightly. Honestly, I think black, well, whatever. Really close game. Could definitely go either way at this point. Both players have pawns pushed to the 5th ranks, respectively. 3 squares away from queening. But man, those knights are slow. But who will be the slowest of them all? Oops. This game. Yeah, this game still in it. Waiting for one game in reserve to finish. Oh, Sheldon versus Kyler. It's gonna be a good game. Yeah, I noticed this player Edwin. He's a really good player, but plays really quickly and makes a lot of errors. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's me. Some of my students do this. Yeah, don't move your rooks behind pawns. Like, no, the rook's got to go in the center. I mean, luckily black's winning. They can always fix it, but I had several students who do this. I'll take the blame for it. I don't recall ever telling them to do these moves, but they seem to do them. All right, rooks want open files, or at least slightly open areas to move, not right behind a pawn. I mean, check out Roy's rook. Beautiful open file here. So Roy, I do sort of teach in classes, so I don't know. Maybe it's not everybody. All right, remember guys, you gotta have active pieces. So rooks want open files. Knights want to be in the center on squares where they can be protected. Oh, man, it's pretty interesting. Black has material, but white has the rook.
It looks like on board 6, they ended up repeating moves, and that's why that was a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of checks, which
It's
is
white. You want to? Oh, go ahead.
it's kind of a shame for white because they have the material advantage.
Yeah. So white, you want to go for the win there. Just do a different move to not just be going back and
Yeah,
forth.
maybe they're not aware of the rule. If you repeat the same thing on both sides 3 times, then it's automatically ruled a draw.
That's Alexi's brother, right?
No,
Antonio? It's not.
no,
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, it's so funny.
no relation.
Interesting. But I really thought his brother was named that. Okay.
No, his brother's name is Mateo.
Oh. All right. Have it churning away here. There you go. Because like pawn endings, you can pretty much calculate out. Similarly with knight end games, you can really calculate it out. There shouldn't really be any surprises. Yeah. All right. All right. Very good. Very good. Oh, nice. All right. Oh, Abbott still calculating. Alice, I'm sure, is calculating as well. And look, if you don't find the right move or the best move, listen, at least you gave yourself an opportunity. I mean, it's all you can ask for. Right? We've all had that moment where you play a move and then you're like, oh my God. Like, if only I could have that move back. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. I don't know. Got a good one on board too. Yeah, counters this time. This time. It could end up really hurting him because we could get to a complicated position where white just has that advantage. There's a lot of advice out there about time trouble. I mean, Connor never seems to get into time trouble per se. Um, but yeah, I guess the one tip I have is just trying to keep pace with your opponent, not fall too far behind. It's not an easy position to play because there's like a lot of captures to think about, and yeah, it's kind of a mess. Oh, interesting. So he went for helping the pawn. Really tight end game here. Guys try to calculate what the players should do. I don't know. Yeah, I thought couldn't white have gone king c2, stop the pawn? Still a lot of time for both players. So actually, yeah, white really should have thought about that. Then king c2 would have just stopped black's pawn. But okay. I mean, yeah, white gets the rook or the knight. Um, but material is just not a lot of material left. Look, it's just gonna keep happening. So it's unfortunate. All right, but you got one game left after this. All right, just focus hard on that game. One thing I should say, for coaches and especially for parents, like right after a game, no matter what happened, even if your player's playing for first place and they blitz out their moves and come out after 2 minutes having lost, yeah, there's a lot of criticism you could say there. But I feel like immediately after the game, you just want to be supportive, just help them get ready for the next game if there is a next game. Or, in that moment, just save the comments for later. Just it's an intense experience to lose and then you got to face everybody, tell them you lost. So just try to support them, and then the next day or the next week you can revisit the game and talk about it. So I don't know, Alana, if you're there, what do you think about that? Like immediately after a game, what?
Yeah,
What's
I
your
mean, I would
advice?
just let the kid, decompress. They're probably not happy that they lost. They
Yeah,
were
and they're
so just, let them be.
yeah, definitely not in any mood to listen to what you have to say anyway. So just want to help them get ready for the next round or the next tournament. And then a day later, a couple days later, you can go into it. Man, this second game is nuts. All right, let's sit here because Connor's getting a little low on time, so the pace of play may pick up a bit. I don't know. I mean, looks like white is a more comfortable game, but I could still see it going either way. So let's see. So that'll be good then. So for everyone else in Future Masters, you should have time to rest a little before the next round because this game doesn't look that close to completion. All right, let's take a quick look. The other sections, reserve. Oh, looks like we have some tactics. All right. Black had a nice tactic here. Good job. Oh, good. I'm glad Kieran and Mateo are playing. They had they've had a couple matchups. They've had a couple big matchups in primary. I know Mateo won. I feel like I thought Kieran beat Mateo at one point, but maybe not. I know Mateo definitely beat Kieran to get first, and for some reason I feel like they had a rematch where Kieran won. Well, whatever. But this should be a really good game. So I'm glad they both got to play. And yeah, I mean, looks like pretty solid game. Okay, primary. Pretty good game here. Black's up a lot of material, but white has some active rooks. Okay. So Alana, did you want to end here or what did you want?
Yeah, we can end here.
Okay. All right. Good games today, guys. Yeah, and overall, saw a lot of hard fought end games and a lot of hard fought games. Some opening traps that I suggest y'all look at if you were the ones who fell into some opening traps from the start. And yeah, good